Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had an amazing week. Today, for this episode of Sunday School, we're going to be going over a couple things because I put that new question box out yesterday and we got a ton of replies asking more specific questions about a lot of different things. So I figured we would just be doing a kind of rapid fire Q&A session to make sure that I can answer as many of your questions as possible. Let's get started. Okay, question number one. What's the best way to apply the ultra glossy top coat? I find it a bit thick to work with, but I love it. Good question. So if you are used to thinner viscosity top coats that are maybe a little bit more watery that you can apply very, very thin, this might feel a little bit thicker to work with. It does have a really nice medium viscosity to this top coat. It's a little goopy, it's a little thicker, but honestly, once you learn to manipulate something with this kind of viscosity, there's a lot of advantages to this. You can use this to kind of resurface a manicure and really smooth things out, give yourself those perfect light lines. I think something to consider with this is that if you're used to a thinner top coat, learn to be a teensy bit more generous with this. Don't paint it out very, very, very thin. Don't use a lot of pressure when you're applying it onto the nail either. And you'll find that it floats very, very nicely and it gives you a really nice, pillowy, smooth finish. Next question. Should I use different builder gels for different nail types, thin versus strong, etc.? Absolutely. We have a ton of different kinds of builder gels, soft, semi-hard, even harder, hardest, that are going to be suitable for different nail types because there really is no one size fits all product when it comes to manicures. Typically, if you have a softer nail, it's better to use a softer gel so that they bend and flex in kind of symbiosis with each other. You're not going to have a very hard gel on top of a softer nail where that soft nail is going to start to kind of bend and crack away from the hard gel as it stays more rigid. If you want to use something a little bit harder on a very soft nail, I recommend a little bit of like a shock absorbing layer using something very soft like our Mega Stick base to kind of put in between that hard gel and that soft nail so that you have a little bit of kind of give and support. If you have a very strong, healthy, natural nail that's nice and sturdy, there's nothing wrong with using a semi-hard builder base like our platinum filler base or even like the nail flats tinted builder bases that are a little bit harder than something like our Mega Stick base that's very soft. Nothing wrong with putting that directly on the natural nail that is very healthy and sturdy because again, there's going to be that symbiosis between the strong nail and the strong product. They're going to bend and flex with each other as opposed to having a very weak nail that's going to maybe lift and crack away. Next question that's kind of in the same vein as the last one. Do you have to use Megastick base underneath Platinum Filler base or the Nail Flats bases? So anything in our line, like the Platinum Filler base has the word base in the end of the title, and as well as the Nail Flats Tinted Builder bases have the word base in the title because they are a base. How many times can I say base? So they can go directly on the natural nail. Now they are semi-hard, so they are a little bit more rigid. So if you have a client that has very weak nails, very bendy nails, or just like problem nails in general, doing a coat of our Megastick base, which is very, very soft, pliable, flexible, and very sticky, is going to be beneficial over underneath the kind of harder bases to give you a little bit of that shock absorbing layer. Not necessary, but very helpful. All right, this question is a tough one. Why do some clients have problems with lifting? And it's tough because there are literally hundreds of reasons that this could be happening. Some of the main problems that I can think of are improper product selection. Maybe if you selected a base that isn't either flexible and sticky enough for them or something that's not strong enough to support the weight or their kind of lifestyle, that's something that you kind of have to learn with each individual client. It could be improper prep work. If you don't have the nail really clean, dehydrated, ready to go, clean margins. Could be your structure was imbalanced. Maybe your apex was improperly placed. It could be your aftercare. It could be that you're not using cuticle oil. It could be that they are using their nails as tools. There's a million different reasons. Unfortunately, we have to anticipate all of them as professionals and make sure that we are communicating effectively with our clients, that it is an adventure. This is a journey that you're taking with each other. So learning each other's manicures and proper aftercare is a really, really big one too. So it's a tricky question to answer for sure, but I didn't want to ignore you. Okay, we get this question actually a lot. Can the nail flat spaces be left without a top coat or will it cause problems? It's not really going to cause problems if you leave it without a top coat. If you just wipe it, it does have like a nice kind of glossy finish without a top coat, so you can just wipe it and be done. It is more prone to scuffing and chipping a little bit more. The top coat is going to protect it from that. It's also going to help prevent staining. Sometimes if you leave it unsealed, it can pick up a little bit of discoloration a little more easily. Um, Long story short is like it's not designed to go without a top coat. It's not the end of the world if you do go without a top coat. I've definitely done it before on myself in the past, but I would not recommend doing that on a client. If you're doing this on yourself, like I could see that being okay, but I wouldn't do this on a client. Next question. Can you use Megastick base with the Excel Builder Clear for structured nails? Yes, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Excel Builder Clear is our strongest builder gel. It is still semi-hard, so it is still a soak-off product, which is great. But it is designed to be used to make really beautiful thin overlays. And it's nice and sturdy. So if you have a client that's got really long natural nails, if you need that extra support, using the Excel Builder Clear to do a structure gel manicure, absolutely an amazing option. Next question, when will the LeBlanc lamp be back in stock? After every time we have a sale, these things always go out of stock for a little while. And unfortunately, I don't have a specific answer for you. But the best way to find out when things get back in stock is to subscribe to our email list. So if you go onto our website and subscribe to the email updates, we always update our email list first when things get back in stock, when things get released, when we talk about sales. If you want the first information, the fastest from Kokoist USA, the best way to do that is to be on our email list. Do I need to wipe my nails with something like alcohol before putting on the Mega Stick base? You need to wipe your nails with alcohol before putting anything on your natural nail. Any kind of gel coating, that nail needs to be as dehydrated as possible. So yes, I use alcohol. I always recommend 91% alcohol or higher, because the more impurities you have in that alcohol, the more residue you're going to leave on the nail plate, and that's going to impede your adhesion. So yes, dehydrate that nail as much as you possibly can. Which product is strong enough to support really long nails? That's going to be the Excel Builder Clear. That is the hardest product that we have in our collection. It is a nice potted gel product, super sturdy, still a semi-hard gel, still technically a soft gel, so you can soak it off, which is a really great option because that's not something you typically get with hard gels or products that you use on really long nails. But yeah, I would do Mega Stick base, thin coat, and then Excel Builder Clear to structure or build out very long nails. How many coats of the water magnet gel colors are normally used for the desired color? So when you see the swatches that we do online, typically it's 2 thin coats. Depends on who you ask. I know Fourth Rock Nails likes to just do 1 generous coat. If you want a more kind of sheer look, maybe you've used a tinted builder base and you just want to put like a little bit of a pink hint with the magnetic shift, you can do 1 coat. It kind of depends on your desired effect and how much color concentration you want to be. This is entirely up to you. This is a personal preference. Looking at the swatches, that's 2 coats. Last question of the day. Hi, what are the steps to use Fixie Gel properly, and are there other ways to use it? Now, Fixie Gel is a really, really amazing product. There's some really awesome ways to use it, and this is actually something that I have spoken about in a previous Sunday school on our YouTube page, as well as we've got a ton of videos on our Instagram page from a lot of our really amazing educators here. So if you scroll through there, you can see a little bit more, or if you look on our YouTube page, Kokoist USA Official, you can find a lot of really amazing videos about Fixie Gel. I highly recommend this product. It's really fantastic for fixing cracks or extending natural nails, fixing corners, things like that. But it's really, really a fun one to play with. I always have it on my table ready to go, just in case. But yeah, check out those videos. I think you're going to find a lot of helpful information. So there you go, a rapid fire Q&A session for this episode of Sunday School. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I answered your questions well enough. As always, if you guys have any more questions whatsoever, we have our cute little question box right up here. Feel free to drop your questions in there, and I'll do my best to get back to you by the end of the day. Other than that, I hope your Sunday is really fabulous. I hope you guys have a great Father's Day if you celebrate. I hope your work week isn't too crazy, and we will see you right back here next week for another episode of Sunday School. Take care.